How to get rich without luck, talent, or a trust fund. What if I told you that everything you were taught about getting rich was wrong? That wealth doesn't come from being born lucky, having talent oozing from your pores, or inheriting a fat bank account from your Uncle Jorge. No, the truth is far more powerful and far more uncomfortable. Most people spend their lives chasing money the same way a hamster chases its wheel, endlessly running, going nowhere. They believe hard work alone is enough. But let me ask you, if effort was the key, wouldn't construction workers be millionaires by now? Wouldn't your mom, who worked 2 jobs and never missed a shift, be retired on a beach? This video will challenge what you think you know. It will flip your beliefs, crack your comfort zone, and hand you the exact roadmap that took me from broke to millionaire, and later, from millionaire to financial freedom. No shortcuts, no fake gurus, just 4 iron rules, grounded in real results and timeless principles. Follow them, and your path to wealth becomes predictable, even inevitable. You won't need to be lucky. You won't need to be special. You just need to be willing. And stay with me till the end, because rule number 4 will surprise you. It has nothing to do with money itself, and yet, it might be the most powerful wealth accelerator of all. Rule 1. Master one money-making skill. There comes a point in every person's life where they must look in the mirror and ask, what skill do I possess that could, without apology, create wealth out of thin air? That moment is not philosophical, it's personal. There are only 4 real doors to riches. You either know how to sell, how to create, how to design, or how to hunt opportunities. Everything else is a distraction dressed in productivity. Choose one and not 10. Then, dedicate yourself to that craft with the stubborn obsession of someone who knows this path leads somewhere sacred, toward freedom. You see, mastery doesn't come from talent. It doesn't care how smart you think you are. It only bows to repetition, to brutal practice, to quiet, consistent execution when no one is watching. Let me be plain. You don't need to be the best in the world, just good enough to earn and brave enough to keep going. Take selling, for example. Go find the top salesperson at your job or online and double their input. If they make 100 calls, make 200. If they do 10 demos, do 20. And at night, study the greats, Zig Ziglar, Grant Cardone, Robert Cialdini. Your 9 to 5 is your gym. Your 5 to 9 is your classroom. And remember this, every wealthy person you admire, every billionaire in the headlines, they didn't just get lucky. They mastered a money-making skill first. Steve Jobs, design and storytelling. Warren Buffett, the ultimate hunter of undervalued assets. Mr. Beast, a creator who turned ideas into millions of followers and then millions of dollars. They each chose one skill early on and married it with obsessive focus. That's how the compounding begins. But there's a catch, and most never see it coming. And that's where the next rule begins to whisper its truth. Rule 2. Don't trade time for money. Own equity. Most people live their entire lives chasing raises and promotions, thinking they're climbing the ladder. But the ladder's leaning on the wrong wall. You don't build wealth by renting out your hours. You build it by owning pieces of something. Something that grows without asking for your time. Whether it's a slice of a business, a digital product, or an apartment complex, the key is simple. Equity, not salary. The paycheck feels safe, yes, but so does the cage to the bird who's never flown. If you don't own, you're always building someone else's dream. Let me tell you about Paolo, a quiet designer who made $200,000 a year. Not bad, right? But he got smart. He stopped designing for clients one at a time and started building Shopify themes. Now he sells the same theme to thousands of businesses, even while he sleeps in Bali or surfs in Japan. That's the shift, from skill to system, from hourly wage to scalable income. Or take Larissa, a content creator who turned her knowledge into courses and books. She didn't get rich doing coaching calls all day. She filmed once, packaged her wisdom, and now earns while she lives. It's about leverage, using code, content, or capital to free yourself. And for those who say, but I don't have money to invest, good. You'll build your wealth by using your skill to create or to raise capital. One of my students mastered the art of real estate hunting. He partnered with people who had the cash and brought the opportunity to the table. Within a year, he closed on $40 million in deals, without using a penny of his own. This is what separates the employee from the entrepreneur, not talent, but mindset. And once you've made this mental shift, once you've chosen to own and not just earn, you'll find yourself facing a new challenge, a new test, one that breaks the impatient. But that's what the next rule is for. Rule 3, wait. Here lies the secret that separates visionaries from the desperate, the ability to wait. Not by standing still, but by moving forward with your eyes on the horizon, working in silence while the world screams for instant results. Listen closely. No one plants a seed and expects to harvest it the next day. But when it comes to money, most people dig up the soil the day after planting just to shout, "Why haven't you grown yet?" Building wealth demands more than effort. It demands strategic patience. And this is where most give up, not because their plan failed, but because they didn't stick around long enough for it to work. If you've already chosen your money-making skill, if you've turned it into an asset that can grow without chaining you to the clock, then congratulations. Wealth is now inevitable. But inevitable is not the same as instant. Look at the investor who lives off dividends. He didn't chase get-rich-quick schemes. He built a portfolio, reinvested earnings, and embraced the power of compound interest. The same applies to anyone growing an audience, a brand, or a platform. The curve is slow at first, painfully slow, but then it spikes. And those who waited, they reap. Naval Ravikant once said, "Be impatient with action, but patient with results." That's the game. This is where people panic, thinking nothing's happening, when in fact, everything is happening underground. So if things feel slow, maybe that's exactly how they're supposed to feel. But what if I told you there's a way to speed that growth up? Not by removing time, but by stepping into a new environment. A place where everything moves faster, where success becomes contagious, and where simply showing up changes everything. That's what I'll show you next. Stick with me, because in the next topic I'll reveal how your zip code and the people around you might be the greatest accelerators of wealth you've never considered. Rule 4, proximity is power. If you want to grow faster, don't just work harder, move closer. Closer to the action. Closer to those who've already walked the path. Success is rarely a solo sport. It spreads like fire, and fire needs proximity to ignite. The truth is, your environment shapes you more than your willpower ever will. You can try to fight gravity from the wrong city, surrounded by the wrong people. Or you can move to where success is normal, expected, even contagious. Want to build startups? Go to San Francisco. Want to make films? Go to LA. Want to grow? Get in the room where people don't just talk about big dreams, they're living them. But let's be real. Proximity doesn't just mean changing your address, though that can help. It means being intentional about who you let into your world, who you text, who you brainstorm with, who you ask for feedback. If you live with 5 broke complainers, guess what? You'll complain too. But if you surround yourself with ambitious builders, people who talk about equity, scale, investments, and freedom, suddenly your standards rise. Not because you try harder, but because you absorb their habits, thoughts, and expectations. This is the power of osmosis, not taught, but caught. When I was 24, I realized something terrifying. I was the smartest person in the room. And that scared me, because if I was the best there, I was in the wrong room. So I packed my bags and moved. No plan, no place to stay, just a decision to get closer to people living at the edge of possibility. That single decision gave me friends, mentors, introductions, and breakthroughs I could never have engineered on my own. So before you blame your results, ask yourself, who are you standing next to? And more importantly, who should you be standing next to next? Because when you combine proximity with the first 3 rules, you flip the odds of success so far in your favor, it becomes unreasonable to fail. So now the question isn't, can I get rich? The question is, will I actually do what it takes? Because you've just received the formula. Not fluff, not theory. A proven blueprint that separates the wealthy from the wishful. Will you master one skill, or keep dabbling in 10? Will you build something you own, or keep trading hours for someone else's dream? Will you trust the process and wait, or dig up the seed before it sprouts? And will you step into the room where winners live, or stay in the crowd, hoping for a breakthrough that never comes? If you're serious about changing your financial future, start today. Pick the skill, cut the excuses, rethink your environment. You don't need to be born into wealth. You just need to be reborn into action. Tell me in the comments, what's the one skill you're going to master? And what's the first move you'll make this week toward building your freedom? If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and join a community of people who refuse to settle. People like you, who are done waiting and ready to build wealth by design. Because the journey doesn't end here. This was just the beginning.